Hey everybody, the Reeswerrel here, and welcome back to more of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. Alright, I got very confused a second ago, because I basically went along with the dialogue just to make sure everything was okay and I was in the right spot, or that I loaded the right save state. I got very confused, because it seemed like it was the exact same as the previous trial day, so it was just a confusing mess. Either way, let's go! Did I turn this down? Yeah, I did. Good morning, Mr. Wright. Good morning, Maggie. So what do you think is going to happen today, sir? Yesterday's session didn't go so well, and then ended on a giant mystery. That's true. And we still haven't solved a single part of it yet. Are you okay, Nick? Huh? Oh, yeah, of course. I saw that little flash of doubt in your eyes. No. That wasn't doubt, that was, determination. Why don't I believe you? Because it was a bold-faced lie. It's nearly time, Maggie. You'd better get going to the defendant's seat. Roger, don't let me down, Mr. Wright. I'm counting on you. Hey! I can't remember what we found out. Oh no, we got knocked... No, we didn't get knocked out. We got attacked by Armstrong and El Tigre. Don Tigre. Yeah, close enough. Hey, pal. Hey, Detective Gumshoe. Quit stressing Maggie out, she doesn't need that. How did you know she was stressed? I was watching through the doorway. God, you creep. Oh. You look like you lost the case already. Show a bit of confidence, will you, Val? Yeah, maybe this'll help. Oh yeah, we gave him that. No, we gave him that a while ago, when we found it within Armstrong's, like, and they said potion box. Aroma box. Have you taken up aromatherapy too? Not in a million years, pal. Don't tell me that you don't remember this thing. Come to think of it, that doesn't look like one of those aromatherapy bottles. This is the small bottle that turned up at in Travian's kitchen a couple of days ago. Oh yeah, I forgot she was wearing her maid outfit. Wow, look at all these little bottles. Oh, they're aromatherapy oils. He's got so many they're overflowing onto the floor. Hey, wait a minute. There's one bottle that's different from all the others. Well, what do you know? And it doesn't have a label either. And it doesn't smell. So are we going off of the fact that that's poison? We finally got the analysis results back from the lab. So what is it? Is it the poison? I'm afraid not, pal. It's... Medikit. It's Glenelg's ear medication. Wait, why the hell was that in the kitchen, though? Medication? Yeah, for ears. Topical use only, apparently. Yeah, it's Glenelg's. For ears, you mean... Yeah, it's the medication Glenelg was using for his ruptured eardrum. Oh, maybe Armstrong took it because he has a knack for stealing small things. He stole the Magatama from Phoenix, so that could have just been something he decided to steal. I don't really know. What was Glenelg's ear medicine doing in the kitchen? What about the unidentified fingerprints? Anything on that? Someone screwed up, so they only had time to analyze the contents of the bottle. Another hour and they might have gotten something on the prints, but... that's going to weaken its impact as a piece of evidence. Okay, pal, this is it. Make sure your defense is impregnable today, got it? But it always is. Today's trial. I'm gonna expose that guy for what he's done, or my name isn't Phoenix Wright. Yeah, you're going down, Don Tigre. You prick. Alrighty. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Oh, we're in courtroom 4 today. Court is now in session for the trial of Maggie Bird. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Oh! Well, Goddo looks... yeah, ready and waiting as always, Your Honor. I love him as a character. He's so cool. Very good. Then we'll get underway at once. Yesterday we heard the testimony of Mr. Victor Kudo. You mean the mess. He claims to have witnessed the defendant putting a powder into the victim's coffee. However, the witness's testimony was plagued with a number of problems. The mark on the rim of the cup shows that the victim drank from it with his right hand, but according to the old man's testimony, he picked it up with his left hand. Thank you, Mr. Gatto. Furthermore, according to the witness's account, The victim was listening to the radio with an earpiece in his left ear, which was impossible, yeah. Yet the victim's left eardrum was ruptured, which made him effectively deaf in that ear. It's amazing how many contradictions a single case can have, huh, Nick? It is pretty crazy. I love how it goes silent aside from the drinking of the coffee. Also, we're back to Godot's theme. Allow me to enlighten you, Your Honor. The world, you see, keeps turning, and we must turn with it. You have lost me already, Mr. Godot. Don't let the mysteries of yesterday mystify you today. Only losers think like that. You gotta change with the times. That's one of my rules. Are you implying that you've resolved these contradictions? You know the answers to these riddles. The old guy wasn't just throwing seeds in here, he was throwing us off the scent. Ah. And today I'll prove it. I guess we will see, won't we, Godot? Very well, let the first witness take the stand. Who's it going to be? Oh god, that is not what I wanted to see straight away. And you are? Oh my god. Bonjour everyone. I'm Gene Armstrong, the owner and head chef of Tribulations restaurant. Enchanté. Oh my god. Forgive me for asking, witness, but are you a woman? Oh my god, that was just the best. Ooh la la. As you can see, I am Le Pert and Perky Gentleman now. On the day of the incident, you were in Tribulations' kitchen. Isn't that right? With you, monsieur. Everything feels right. Oh god, oh, looks like he's into it. Oh, he's totally unfazed. Doesn't anything intimidate this guy? I guess not. I just love the judge. Excuse me for asking, but are you a woman? Even though the guy has a beard. But whatever. I mean, I guess women can have beards too. But it was just very funny. Very well, your testimony please, witness. Please tell the court what happened that day at Tribulations. What? Volunteers? Volunteers. No idea. At Tribulations. When it all happened, there were just 2 customers in my restaurant. I remember I was experimenting with some new art deco that day. Like having a large mirror between the tables, for example. Oui, perhaps that is what the old man was looking at. Le cup, le earpiece, and le glasses. You would have seen everything in reverse, no? Oh! Oh, that's why. Okay, if that's true, then that could actually be why Kudo was so goddamn so adamant. I was gonna say super mirror, one grand mirror, an enormous, or most enormous mirror. Oh, I was wondering, like, why didn't we think of the possibility of mirrors? But I suppose it would be a really, really weird thing to think of. And suddenly the mystery disappears. Ah. Like I said, the world keeps turning, so roll with it. That would explain the coffee cup and the earpiece conundrum. The mirror would have made everything appear back to front. What the heck? It's way too early in the morning for this to be happening to me. So in that case, Kudo didn't look directly at Glenelg, he looked at him through a mirror? That seems a bit weird. Either way, now that Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Let's do this. At Tribulations. So just 2 customers, which would be Victor Kudo and Glen Elg. And who were the 2 customers exactly? Of course, the young man who died, and the other, not-so-young, man. You are referring to yesterday's witness, I presume? What about the other man Maggie said she saw at the table? I mean, it's pretty obvious who the hell that is. Something tells me Mr. Armstrong isn't planning to disclose his existence. Probably because it screws him over too. We need some hard evidence first before we can bring him up, don't we? Yeah, probably. So I have to try a different approach for the time being. Yeah, my approach is to press everything. Still don't know if this'll work. Hold it! Maybe not. Hold it! Yes, that worked. It's very hit or miss. I mean, I'm glad it works, but it is very hit or miss. You're experimenting with Art Deco. Or Deco. Decor? Whatever. How come I never heard about that before today? You are not familiar with the language of interior design, monsieur? Please stay on topic. Now, why didn't you tell the court about this before? But I did, just a few moments ago. Excuse me, Mr. Armstrong. This deco you mentioned, are you referring to some sort of decoction? No. Art Deco. It is a style of design, Your Honor. He's talking about interior design. Walls, ceilings, carpets, that kind of thing. Ah, yes, of course. That deco. Decor. God, deco. It's like the knockoff of the deku. I was trying to achieve a more effeminate look for my restaurant. I was planning the most bold remodeling of Le Decor. Okay. Having a large mirror between the tables. I can't believe that might have been it. A mirror! How big of a mirror are we talking about here? A massive one. Something about 4 meters wide and, about 2 meters high. That's huge! Let's see, if 1 meter is about a yard, holy glass in a frame, that's huge! I was intending to install it on the ceiling eventually. The ceiling? Was there a mirror on the ceiling? I don't remember. No, but I decided not to go through with it in the end. What should I do? Should I ask him more about the mirror or not? Nah. I mostly just want to press everything. He couldn't lie about such a huge object like that. Where the hell was the mirror, though? Yeah, it must have been in the restaurant somewhere. Because I don't remember seeing a mirror. So the witness yesterday had seen the victim reflected in a mirror. That's what the old man was looking at. So normally I'd expect people to know the difference between a reflection and a real object. Alright, Goddo. Normally? How does normality come into this? That's lame, Wright, even for you. Huh? Are you trying to say that if something isn't normal, it isn't possible? Is that it? Where does that leave the porky-headed lawyer and the top-knot chick over there? And the ungodly cool guy with the mask over here? Well, Wright. Not the hair! I do not have a top knot. Mr. Goddo is correct. A lack of normality is no basis for discounting an argument. Logic has won the day. The earpiece and glasses, he would have seen everything in reverse. Did he? He said he was holding something with his left, which would have been actually his right. He drank from his... Hang on, that can't have been the case. Even if it was in reverse, he... Oh, wait. Never mind. I was gonna say about the cup. To be honest, just thinking about it in reverse is like hurting my head. So if that was reversed, it would... I don't know. You would have seen it in reverse. There was something Kudo said. The coffee cup, the earpiece, and the HMD. They were all reversed. He said they were in the same ear. Like the earpiece was in the same ear as the HMD. I can't quite remember. Let's think back over Mr. Kudo's testimony for a second, shall we? Wait, do I actually have that? I mean, we technically do. When the incident occurred, I broke the vase at my seat. I'm sorry. I mean, his testimony is real useful. Either way. The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. So yeah, if it was reflected, it would still be correct. You can look me if I'm wrong, it was his left ear, without a doubt. So to summarise... Oh, it was still! We were told the HMD and the earpiece were on the victim's left side, so even if there was a mirror, he saw it on a specific side. it would be on his right. Okay. Now if Mr. Kudo saw all that as a reflection in a mirror, it means both the HMD and the earpiece were actually on the victim's right side. You've seen, monsieur, now that you think about it, it is not so hard, no? Unfortunately, that's where you run into a monumental contradiction with the facts. Oh! If Mr. Kudo really did see everything in a mirror, why is it that the HMD is now on the wrong side of the head? Okay. I mean, Victor's testimony does not help me. It just says that he broke a vase. Mr. Wright is correct. If the witness genuinely observed the victim reflected in a mirror, then we would expect the victim's eyepiece to have been over his right eye. How bitter. Try, you should have a taste of this bitterness. It'll calm you down in no time. Are we talking about your coffee, or something completely different? You don't understand the way the witness thinks. How he thinks? You remember this, I presume? Yeah, his haiku thing. The I broke the vase, sorry, apology Mr. Kudo's sworn testimony. Exactly. The old man has one very grievous habit, other than throwing seeds. The more of an impression something makes, the more muddled his mind makes it. What's the most striking thing about Mr. Elg? The scouter? Clearly it's the victim's eyepiece. And that's my point. The old man strikes again. Mr. Elg's HMD made a big impression on the old man. Oh god, we're hearing his theme now. I saw the earpiece and those newfangled spectacles he was wearing. Oh yeah, so we're both on his left ear, do you hear? His left ear. Well tried. That's the worst but best impression of Kudo ever. Well, I really thought he was old seedy for a minute there. God, it was good. He certainly is. Enough! I must agree that yesterday's witness was irresponsibly rash in much of his testimony. Bad luck, Nick. Looks like the boil of a contradiction you found is just a rash. A mirror can't be beaten by a handful of seeds, nor can a lie, or can it lie. So, what exactly was the old man looking at? Fill us in, Mr. Armstrong. Go on, tell the court. We're all ears. I can explain. Please, if you will look at La Planta de la Restaurant. So where are the mirrors? The mirror. So is everyone sitting comfortably? Wait. Wait, so if Victor was in the top left, then he would have seen— I thought he was sat across from him. He was sat across from him. Either way, the mirror was in the middle of the restaurant, dividing the two halves. There's only one seat from which you could have seen an image of the victim. That was the seat at the table, next to the victim's. That is where the old man was sitting. Until a terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror so it was not in his way. But naturally, I did not touch anything else. I'm almost certain that he was sat across from him. I see no problems with the explanation we have just heard. From the table next to the victims, Mr. Kudo could have seen the victim in the mirror. What a naughty little— is it coquette? I am confusing all the men like this. Don't worry about it. We can keep up, except for the guy breaking out in a cold sweat over there again. I hate that guy. You said you didn't touch anything else apart from the mirror. Are you quite sure about that? I have no idea what that word is. Volunteers! Of course. It's just like volunteers. Very well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you please. I'm still adamant he was sat across from him. Was he not? The mirror. Mirror of the restaurant, dividing the two halves. So run this by me again. The mirror was here, correct? Oui. Oui? Really? Because I know if I were you, I wouldn't have put a mirror there. It would be in the way. Oh, screw you. Look who's talking, Trite. Huh? You're obstructing my view, among other things. But, this is my seat in the courtroom. Tribian's charm is that it gives you the impression that you're the only customer. Temporarily placing a mirror in that spot would hardly be in the way. Unlike you, Trite. I tell you, monsieur, the mirror was there in the middle of the restaurant. Only one seat from which you could have seen an image of the victim. So, and where would that be? Look how you lean towards me. I always attract the younger boys. Maybe I should keep you in suspense a little longer. Mr. Armstrong, tell the court what you know at once. I attract the older ones too. You know, handsome. Shall I tease you too? Oh god. Oh dear. I'm already seeing a very hot someone, so I'm afraid you'll be waiting for a long time. I bet she has mocha cream skin and a cappuccino perfume. I will tell you, there was only one seat from which you could have seen. The last seat at the table next to the victims, that's where the old man was sitting. Still, I don't get it. I'm certain he said something when the incident occurred. Oh! Wait, he broke his vase. Is there anything else? No, I don't want the attorney badge. Do I have anything else? My god, we got a lot of crap. Apron, lottery ticket, coffee cup, our crime photo. Hang on. Ah, he's dead. The vase is alive. I could have said that in a dumber way. The vase isn't broken. It's not alive. Okay, so that's the issue, I suppose. He can't have been at that table because the vase is in... what is it? The vase is not broken. I cannot get my words out. Sheesh. Should I present or press everything first? Yeah, bitch. This piece of evidence contradicts with testimony. With the testimony we have heard, Your Honor. The crime photo? Yeah, if you will have a look. Yes, this photo clearly shows something that theoretically should not exist. What on earth do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? Should not exist? Sounds like you're describing yourself, Trite. Wow! Oh my god. No, if the defense would please clarify its statement. What do you mean? What is the something that should not exist in the photo? Let's switch screen. Bloop. I love being able to do that, it's so cool. It'd be this, man. Device. Where do I have to actually present? Is it anywhere? Probably. Boink. I think it's pretty obvious that this is what should not be in the picture. The vase? What possible connection does that have with this witness's testimony? Your Honor, I'm telling you that there should have been no vase on this table. Because it very clearly contradicts with this piece of evidence. Aha! Of course his testimony would come in use. There we go, when the incident occurred, I broke the vase at my seat. I'm sorry. Boom. There is one thing that was clearly demonstrated by yesterday's testimony. Mr. Kudo broke the vase that was on the table where he was sitting. And yet, as the court can see, there is an unbroken vase on the table next to the victim. Why? Because Mr. Vudo... Oh my god. Mr. Kudo was not, in fact, sitting at the table next to the victim at all. Oh, shut up, Goddo. Don't be an idiot, Trite, that's impossible. That seat's the only one Kudo could have seen the victim's reflection from. He didn't see his reflection. Exactly. There's only one conclusion we can draw from this contradiction. There was no mirror in Tribulations that day. Your testimony, Mr. Armstrong, is an elaborate lie. Oh, mon dieu! Oof. Bum 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 bum. So don't try to confuse the court, Trite. Obviously the witness cleaned up the vase. while the police were taking their time getting to the crime scene. Cleaned it up by getting a new one? Unfortunately, Mr. Goddard, that doesn't quite work for me. Mr. Armstrong already testified to the contrary, in his own words. I did not touch anything else except the mirror. Oh! Ooh, he shot it out. Speed drink. Well, witness, what do you have to say for yourself? Sniffle. I was right. There was no mirror in the restaurant that day. In light of this revelation, we return back to the original problem. Why did the victim have an earpiece in an ear in which he could not hear? You only get one shot in life. There's no turning back. If you want to claim that mirror wasn't there, Wright, then this problem is all yours. How do you explain what the odd man saw? If I can answer this, then I'll be that much closer to the truth. I can feel it. You're gonna be okay? Can you really solve this contradiction, Nick? There's more than just one... oh, just this one contradiction, Maya. What do you mean? Remember what Maggie told us? There was another man... okay. At the victim's table. Yeah, but nobody else saw him. There was a sample CD on the victim's table. It all flies in the face of Mr. Kudo's testimony. I think I know the reason why nothing in this case is adding up. Well, Mr. Wright, let's hear your answer. Yes, Your Honor. The reason behind all the contradictions of Mr. Kudo's testimony is simple. Mr. Kudo made a mistake, the ear doctor made a mistake, the victim was a phony. I mean, I would probably go with the victim being a phony. That's the one that stands out the most. So both of these basically say, oh, it's all down to a mistake. Whereas that's actually, no, it's a phony. Big fat phony. Alright. Phony! This case is riddled with contradictions. Yet there is one very simple answer that clears them all up. And what is that? The incident Mr. Kudo witnessed and the incident the victim experienced were two completely different events. Oh yeah! Wait. That would explain why nobody else saw the victim at the table. Not the victim, the other person at the table. What? Yes, the victim that Mr. Kudo saw wasn't Mr. Glenn Elg at all. It was an imposter. A phony pretended to be Mr. Elg. Obviously, unlike the victim, there was nothing wrong with the imposter's left eardrum. That's how he ended up wearing the earpiece in his left ear by mistake. I love when that happens, it just goes silent, he takes a drink and spits it right back out. Order in the court, settle down or I'll clear the courtroom. Quiet, Gramps, why don't you clear out of here, huh? What did you say? Try, are you saying that what Mr. Kudo saw was a setup? Yes. Someone pretended to be to be Glenn Elg and acted out the whole coffee poisoning. All for the express purpose of creating a witness out of one Mr. Victor Kudo. Get real, Trite, why would anyone want to do that? Isn't it obvious? The thing Mr. Kudo was most insistent about in his testimony was... the serving girl brought him a Giabacino, but she put something in it. That's a serving girl right there in the defendant's chair. I remember her well. It's so hard to believe, but... there was one and only one reason to show Mr. Kudo this fake poisoning. To show Maggie Bird in the act of poisoning the coffee. You insinuating that the waitress... oh, pardon me. In the odd man's story was a fake as well? It's true that there were no other customers in the restaurant at the time, but... it's also true that the chef was there. He would have noticed what was happening. That's right. Well, witness. If your restaurant really was the scene of such theatrics, you would have known about it, correct? Oh la la. This is most difficult for me. Oh dear. Objection! No, it's quite simple. All you have to do is testify. You are under oath, after all. Was there in fact a phony at Tribulations that day? The defense demands that Mr. Armstrong tell the whole truth about what happened. Oh! The defense's request for additional testimony is accepted. You will accurately explain in detail the events in the restaurant that day. Oui. Hey! Oh, he's nearly crying. Poor guy. In the restaurant. The victim, Monsieur Elg, he came to the restaurant alone. I remember the old man arrived not long after him. There were no other customers. When he got word, he won the lottery, so Mr. Elg became very excited. It was approximately 5 minutes later that the poisoning incident occurred. No, there was no time for a phony to do acting. Just so we're clear, there was no mirror in the restaurant after all. Forgive me, Your Honor. I lied because I wanted this mess to be cleared up quickly. How dare you! What you have just done is commit perjury, Mr. Armstrong. I will decide how to punish you later. Oui. Ah. For now we will hear your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. You took that perjury charge a bit too well. But I'm guessing he'll be in more serious trouble after this cross-examination. Ah. So in the restaurant, he came to the restaurant alone. Was he alone at his table as well? I saw him from the kitchen. Yet the defendant, Miss Bird, remembers it differently. She swears there was another man at the victim's table. Excuse you, Goddo. Unfortunately for you, Wright, yesterday's witness also testified that the victim was alone. Okay, we're kinda screwed then. You know, seeing you squirm like that reminds me of a certain coffee's bittersweet taste, bittersweet bite. What kind of coffee has he been drinking? All kinds. It's not coffee, it's love. It's love that's bittersweet. Hearing Maya say that makes her seem wise all of a sudden. Remember the old man arrived not long after him. By old man, you mean Victor Kudo, correct? Obviously. He comes often for my special coffee. I drank your coffee once, Mr. Armstrong. It's special. I'll give you that. It's worth a sip just for the experience. Oh, you make me so happy, monsieur. You're most welcome anytime. I said it was worth one sip, and nothing more. So, old Mr. Kudo arrived at the restaurant around the same time as the victim. Maybe I should ask about his arrival in more detail. How many minutes after? No, what time was it? Out of curiosity, about what time was it when Mr. Kudo arrived? Oh no, I cannot remember, monsieur. I believe we were told by a witness yesterday. The crime was reported at 2:25 PM by a kind of scary old man, sir. Does that perhaps jog your memory, witness? Incident happened about 20 minutes after he arrived. So the victim must have arrived between 2 PM and 2:10 PM, no? Just after 2, huh? Thank you for your help in jogging my memory, monsieur. You are wonderful. I can't sit here all the time and do nothing now, can I? Oh my. The time of day will be added to the witness's testimony. Okay, so Monsieur George, everything I do it for you. Merci bien. That's French, isn't it? Ha ha! I'm glad at least one person is in a good mood. He's even humming a song to himself. Really? Oh, it's probably the song that Armstrong said. Everything I do it for you. Ah, my. What do I... No. No, that's the lottery ticket. Oh, there it is. Aha! I figured it would be something to do with the radio. Experience the most thrilling 10 minutes of your life every Monday at 1:30 PM. So it can't have been. Arrived just after him, not long after 2 PM. Objection! I'm afraid I finally got you, Mr. Armstrong. I have no idea what that word is. What do you mean? At the time in question, the victim was listening to the radio with his earpiece. The show he was listening to was Millionaire Radio. Each week, they announced the winning number of a $500,000 lottery ticket. That must be the show Mr. Elg was listening to. Can't see any problem with the testimony, Mr. Wright. I wonder. You say the victim arrived at your restaurant after 2 PM, correct? Oui, I am sure of it. I remember it perfectly now. I know it was that time because I had just finished serving the lunch menu. Get to the point, Trite, if you have one. Oh, I do. I got a doozy. That show is broadcast live at 1:30 PM. And it claims to be the most thrilling 10 minutes of your life. It's on the air at 1:30? Now supposedly, the victim made some noise when it was announced that he had won. Oh! And yet, I don't believe his cry of joy could have occurred after 2 PM. Because the show had already finished more than 30 minutes earlier by that point in time. No! Okay, so this victim we've been told about has done nothing but the impossible. Listening to the radio with a ruptured eardrum. That's actually in his right ear. Listening to the radio with his ruptured eardrum, catching a show that was already over. There's only one conclusion you can draw from these facts. This victim was an imposter, acting out the poisoning 30 minutes after the real murder. Oh! For some reason I was assuming it'd be like the stolen turnabout, where it was like multiple days. Yes, there were 2 Glen Elgs in Tribulations that day. The real Glen Elg, now dead, having been poisoned by the real killer. And the phony Glen Elg acting out the events for Mr. Kudo to witness. It certainly seems that way. I mean, if that wasn't the case, how could you explain the time discrepancy? Quite a performance, Trite. You were almost on a roll. But sadly, you lack the rock-hard foundation of rhythm to build your song. What is this? Music Theory 101? Let's recap. According to your imaginative theory, it's now just after 2 PM. The phony Elg is performing a play for the benefit of Mr. Kudo. How do you explain then where the real Glen Elg is? I don't believe I have to spell this out for the court, however, at that time the real Glen Elg was already dead. That's certainly the obvious conclusion. Thank you, Trite. That's exactly what I was hoping you would say. What? Now, I presume you can prove this theory of yours. Can you explain where the missing corpse went to? The missing corpse? According to the old man's testimony, there was only one other customer there. If that customer was the phony Glen Elg, then where did the killer hide the body of the real victim? I mean, I have a pretty good guess. Kitchen? Yeah. The prosecution has a valid point, Mr. Wright. If your theory is to stand up to examination by the court, you must provide us with proof by answering the prosecution's question. Where did the killer hide the body? Yes, Your Honor. No conjecture, Trite. Let's hear some facts for once. Show the court a piece of evidence that proves where the body was hidden. The evidence? What's with the intense pressure in here all of a sudden? We don't have evidence to say where he was hidden. All we can really do is make an educated guess. I thought I had him with that contradiction. But he's turned it all around and backed me into a corner instead. Yeesh. Well, Mr. Wright, the court will now hear the defense's theory and evidence. First, where was the body of the real Mr. Elg concealed? Inside Tribulations. Itted would. They could have just done itted. Or it would have been too dangerous to take the body outside. Obviously, the body must have been hidden somewhere inside Tribulations. Interesting. But where could a body have been hidden inside a restaurant? Perhaps you would care to show the court on these plans, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. The exact location of where the body was concealed inside Tribulations is... Woo! Anywhere. The body was hidden here. I see. Nice supposition. But the real question is, can you back it up? Where's the evidence that proves the body was hidden in that location? That explains a lot. The bottle, medicine, it was found in the kitchen. Explains why that is. Why was it in the aromatherapy box, though? Mr. Armstrong, do you recognize this bottle? No. I have never seen that ugly bottle before in my life. I only use the very best bottles, monsieur. The highest quality only for me. Where was that bottle found, Mr. Wright? Interestingly enough, Your Honor, it was found in the kitchen of Tribulations. Eh? I only ever use these bottles for my aromatherapy oils. That's because it's not... Yeah, but this bottle doesn't contain aromatherapy oil, Mr. Armstrong. No, it contains a medication. What kind of medication? Well, funny you should say. I'm sure everyone remembers, don't they? That Mr. Ogg visited an ear clinic and was given medication that day. You can't be serious. The defense had the contents of the bottle analysed, and I have the lab results here. The contents of the bottle match the prescription that was given to Mr. Elg. Wah! Glenn Elg's murderer hid the body in the restaurant kitchen, at which time this bottle fell out of the victim's pocket. Mr. Armstrong, when the incident occurred, didn't you say you were in the kitchen? Mon Dieu! Yes, you know what I'm about to say. It was you who hid the victim's body. You did a fine job pretending to defend my client, Maggie Bird, however. You were setting her up to take the fall behind the poor girl's back. No! What a douche. Order. This is an extraordinary development. Witness, did you murder Mr. Glenn Elg? Never. I could not do such an horrible thing. What the heck is that? Oh, it's Gatto. No! Mr. Gatto? How does he still have coffee left? The bitterness. Every time I get lied to, I always down a mug of coffee. That's one of my rules. Would you have the slightest idea how many cups you've had by now? Then I like to do the same to the person who lied to me. I like to take them down with my empty cup. Listen up, chef. How about a brand new flavour in your ear, my H deficient friend? I didn't know what that word was at first. Please, you must hear me out. It is a trap. Listen to me. Por favor. Yo hablo español. Mr. Armstrong and por favor is Spanish. I'm only going to ask you once. Did you do it? No. Absolutely no. Let's hear it. You've got one shot. Right, Gramps? Witness, the court will permit you the chance to make one final statement. If you lie under oath again, Mr. Gatto's coffee mug awaits you. As does my gavel. It is clear. What do they always say in the movies? I've got a bad feeling about this. Very well, begin your final testimony, Mr. Armstrong. Right, so, the confession. It's true, I hid the body in the kitchen. A man forced me to do it. I had no choice. I had to go along with it because there was a reason why I could not refuse. But I did not kill him. I swear it. You must believe me. Okay, I think this is where it starts to make more sense. Yep, you were forced. By who? I cannot say, or I will be erased. Let's try a different question then. When Mr. Elg died, was he really the only person at the table? No, there was... Hey, look who it is. There was another man. I knew it. Maggie was telling the truth. You may cross-examine the witness now, Mr. Wright. There's just one more thing I need to do. I've got to break this guy and get him to tell us the name of the real killer. Pardon me. Did you carry the body yourself? Not by yourself? I carried him, and I carried Maggie too. Maggie too? Oh, she was unconscious. When she saw the victim collapse, she fainted. Is that when he hid the medication? I could not leave her there. But why did you hide the bodies? A man forced me to do it, I had no choice. What man? Who was he? No, I cannot say. I fear for my life. He's really scared. You'll just have to put the words in his mouth, Nick. Yeah, you're right. If he won't tell me, I'll tell him. But why would you go along with this man? Oh, I know. I had to go along with him because there was a reason why I could not refuse. What would that reason be, Mr. Armstrong? You know, monsieur. Yes? Surely you cannot expect a young maiden to talk about such an embarrassment. A maiden? You're a bit old to get away with that. And a bit too male. I can't finish the cross-examination without establishing his reason. So I'll just have to prove it. With evidence. I'm just gonna press everything. I really should do this anyway. Like when it comes to testimonies, and I know there's not an instant game over if I press the wrong thing. I should press every statement because then you get all the dialogue out and it's cool. You must believe me. So you are claiming that all you did was hide the bodies. Is that correct? Oui, that's right. If we are to believe you, Mr. Armstrong, you must tell the court everything. You must make clear the identity of the man who ordered you to do this. He's already confessed this much, he might as well stop dancing around the real issue. Yeah, but he really doesn't want to tell us who the killer is. Then sock it to him, Nick. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Right, now we start again. I hid the body. Oh no. Right, a man forced him to do it. I wonder who it could have been. It's my phony! Furio Tigre. Let's end this dance of Ring Around the Rosie, Mr. Armstrong. This is the man that you've been referring to. Who is that? I feel like I've seen him somewhere before. Oh, I don't know. Maybe a month ago in this very courtroom. This man is Furio Tigre. He's the manager of a loan office called Tender Lender. There's no point trying to hide the truth anymore, Mr. Armstrong. I knew you couldn't go against Mr. Tigre, at least not while he had this on you. The loan! A $500,000 loan from a black market loan shark. And you had no way of paying it back, did you? That's why you were forced to do anything this man told you. Oui, it is as you say. Mr. Armstrong. Le Tiger, he told me he was going to use my restaurant for a business rendezvous. Oh. On the day in question, he was meeting the victim to demand that he repay his loan. I don't know why it happened like that. Oof. Ba-da-doo. I just did what he told me to. Or to do. I had no choice. I carried La Body and La Inconscient Maggie out of La dining area. And into the kitchen. After that, I just tried to forget what I had seen. I think we can now safely say that the man who forced your hand was Mr. Furio Tigre. Oh, look at him. Oh crap. I do have one further question for you, Mr. Armstrong. The poison and the lottery ticket were recovered from the defendant's apron pocket. Was that your doing as well? No, I knew nothing about that. Making it look like it was Maggie who had done it, I was not. It is despicable. Mr. Gatto. You will summon this Furio Tigre as a witness. I doubt that can be arranged today, so we will adjourn for now. Proceedings will continue tomorrow. As we end on a gulp. 30 minutes. What? The trial will go on. I'll see to it myself. I need half an hour to get that guy on the stand. Not a minute more. How the? Don't sit back and relax yet, Wright. No one knows if that chef is really telling the truth or not. This trial could still go either way. Very well. Your request is granted, Mr. Gatto. We'll resume once Mr. Tigray is ready to take the stand. Until then, court is adjourned for a 30-minute recess. Yay! To be continued. Oh wait, that's a different song entirely. That's from Justice for All. Yeah. I always do that. My bad. Yay! Bum 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 bum. Alright. So we're finally gonna see the tiger on the stand. We've almost got this case won now, Nick. I wish I could agree. When I cross-examined Mr. Armstrong just now, he said he was just doing what the tiger told him to do. But Gordo picked up on it, remember? He pointed out that without proof, we don't know if what he testified is the truth. Yep. You mean you think Mr. Armstrong was lying? I don't know, but if that's the line the prosecution takes, we could be in trouble. I get the feeling that we don't have the case-making evidence we're going to need. Hey, pal! Hey, Gumshoe! Detective Gumshoe! What are you so jumpy about, Detective? Your hair's standing on end. Hey, that's the pot calling the kettle black, little Miss Topknot. It's not a topknot! Never mind about the hair. Just calm down, alright? I can't stand still when I don't have a job to do. I kinda get wound up. No kidding. You gotta have something you need me to do, pal. Anything. Well, hey, I'm gonna take a jog back down to the precinct. I could get some prints analysed for you if you've got an hour. An hour? The trial will have reconvened by then. But Nick, we still don't have a really decisive piece of evidence, right? True. Without some kind of trump card to pull out of the bag, we're really stuck. You said you could get some fingerprints and fingerprint analysis done in an hour. You bet. In that case, would you mind checking the prints on this for me? Wait, so... Yeah, the bottle. Because he was gonna get prints, but somebody messed up. I remember that. He said something like that. Yes. It does actually say, unidentified fingerprints. Whoop. So if you're going back to the station anyway, could you find out whose prints are on this? Oh, hey, that's the small bottle I gave back to you this morning, right? Yeah, I think it's time we solved the last mystery of who the prints on it belong to. Sure thing, pal. Actually, that's been gnawing at me too. Okay. Okay, I'll get this off to the lab right away. Just make sure you don't lose the case before I get back. This is pretty much the final showdown, I guess. It's time to separate the phonies from the real guys. Damn straight. Oh, Tigray, it is your time. Okay. Court will now reconvene. Mr. Gordo, did you find this Fierio Tigray? I even tamed him for you. It was a 3-cup job, no problem. You tamed him? The guy's name may be Fierio Tigray, but come on. He's pretty lively. Be careful, he still bites. Doo-doo. Doo-doo. Very well. Please show Mr. Tigray to the stand. Oh god. Witness? Please state your name and occupation for the... Okay, he actually roars like a tiger. Ah! Oh, she ran away. Oh. Don't hide under the table, Maya, unless there's room for me down there too. Would you mind what you say to me? Nothing. I didn't say nothing. Honest. Who could have guessed that fear would induce a bad Brooklyn accent in the judge? I got business to take care of, you hear? So who the hell called me into this hole? Was it you, Spiky? No, of course not. It was... the judge. Your Honor? Oh dear, I seem to have dropped my pen. Where on earth is it? Don't mind me, just carry on with the proceedings as normal. That's it. We're doomed. Maybe you just didn't hear me. I said, who the hell was it that called me in here? There's no need to shout. We can all hear you. What do you say? There's no point struggling. You're caught in a snare. The relentless snare of the law. Oh! Goddo saves the day. And I'm the one that hauled you in. Too cool. Don't let him get the better of you, Nick. I like how she's just not there, she's under a table. Let's start with the basics. You know about the incident in question, correct? Incident? I don't know nothing about no stinking incident, mask boy. You mean you didn't attend the previous trial of Maggie Bird? Maggie who? Got more important things to do than watch courtroom dramas. Of course. Well, perhaps you could give us your testimony then. Please tell us about what you did on the day of the murder. Phoenix Wright. You was the one who set this up, didn't you? You was gonna regret the day you ruffled the tiger's fur. You hear what I'm saying? Maybe I should have brought a diaper with me to get a grip, Nick. He shit himself. Oh no! He's so scary. I don't know nothing about no murder. I was tied up with business in December last year. Spent all of my time out in the office. I got whales lined up to borrow cash from tender lender every single day. You want to check my alibi? Just ask via letter. Okay. At last I found my pen. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, please. Well, what is it? Please, witness, if you could refrain from shouting out like that. I know the kind of games that guy in blue plays. That lowlife ain't no lawyer, he just punches away at stupid details till he wins. Lowlife? Me? Listen up, smarty. Every time you ask me something that doesn't relate to this case, I'm gonna bill you $50,000, and you're just gonna borrow the cash from me. That's one loan contract I refuse to sign. I don't think it ain't gonna hurt when you get tangled with the tiger. Oh dear. I love a good spectator spot. Just a minute. That's really not... This witness is... How can I put it? A hungry tiger roaming the urban jungle. Get on his bad side, and he'll bite everyone's heads off. Yours too. Very well. I have no choice but to impose a penalty system here. You'd better be listening. I said I got business to take care of. Big business. If I don't split now, I ain't gonna catch my bus. You got that scooter though. Pardon me. So the court will impose a penalty for any irrelevant pressing of witness testimony. Keep that in mind as you begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honour. Oh, so this is one of those where I can't press irrelevant statements. Great. You can do it, Nick. Come out from under there already, would you, Maya? And she didn't. Alright. The tiger's alibi. Okay, so... Don't know nothing about no murder. Tied up with business in December last year. Spent all my time in the office. Just asked by a letter. So the only one is this. In December. Are you sure about that? We're talking about 1 month ago. You know? You see these teeth? That's how sharp my secretary is. Sharp? Is he talking about Viola Cadaverini? She writes everything in my scheduler. December, mainly in the office. That's what it says, so that's where I was. That seems like a rather, sketchy schedule. There he goes again. What the tiger did all December isn't the issue. What's important is what he was doing on the day of the murder. So, now what? Press harder. What do you want? If you wouldn't mind going into a bit more detail. This is a dead end, Wright, and you know it. Remember the rules. I object your objection. No, it's essential that we establish the witness's alibi accurately. I agree. The victim was killed on December 3rd. Were you in the office that day too? Maybe yous ain't listening. Of course I was. I never set foot outside. I had meetings all day with a bunch of cats wanting to do business with me. I ain't never seen that young kid before. I do believe the witness's last statement was important. Mr. Goddo, if you could please... Mr. Tigre, the court asks you to add that last statement to your testimony. Don't let an animal beat you. Be a man, Your Honor, and ask him yourself. I love how the judge is just nowhere to be seen. The day she was talking about, I was in the office, too. I never saw that kid before. You know, I just don't believe you. There it is. Meet with the tiger. So, you're wrong. Bitch. Whoops. Mr. Tigre! You claim you didn't know Mr. Glen Elg. Except, but it appears that Mr. Elg knew you. What? Mr. Elg left this little note on his calendar. Meet with the tiger. Dated December 3rd. December 3rd? That's the day of the murder! So, Mr. Tigre, I submit that you did indeed know one Mr. Glen Elg. Because on the very day of the incident, you met with him. Hoo-hoo-hoo! Oh, he's laughing. Not bad. He's actually not bad. So sorry. I was just messing with yous. To see how good you were. Did you hear that, Nick? He said you're not bad. That's one compliment I can do without. Plus, he's lying through his teeth. Witness, please remember that you're under oath. Lies will not be tolerated. He's calling me a liar? Is that what you're doing? Ruh-roh? Oh my god, is that a Scooby-Doo reference? Ruh-oh? So you're claiming... You're saying that your claim to have never seen that kid before is the truth. I said I'm dead serious. He's got to believe that's the truth. And I'd say that gives me time to enjoy another cup of pure black magic. That is, while you testify for the court again, Mr. T-Ray. Oh yes, would you mind indulging the court witness? He never actually met the victim. That's gotta be a lie right there. This time I nailed this guy. Oh! So, okay, the victim, Glen Elg. I ain't no liar, I never met Glen Elg. There was some lame guy with that name, though. Wanted to borrow cash from me. I set up a meeting with the guy at my office, Tenderlander. I waited around for him, but he ain't ever showed. I ain't never even been to that Tribulations joint you's here. That's a bold-faced lie. He was there when he beat our ass. I see, that all seems perfectly logical. You had arranged to meet with the victim, but he didn't show up. I've heard it's pretty hard to keep appointments when you're dead. Very well. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Oh, pardon me. Didn't I tell you I got a big deal going down today? I ain't gonna make my bus now. I'm gonna have to take the express train. That bill's going straight to you. Right. So, the victim, Glen Elg. I don't know if I'm still under the penalty for pressing. So I'm not pressing anything. Unless it's relevant to the case, essentially. I ain't never been to that Tribulations joint, you see? But we have matches that we found in your office. I'm pretty sure we found them in their office. What's that weird, like, head twitch? Oh, he's doing that. Yeah, found lying in the Tenderlander. Boom! Why were these in your office, then? Mr. Tigre, is there something you'd like to tell the court about these matches? Matches? What you was talking about? We found them in your office at Tenderlander. They're from that restaurant. What? If you've really never been to Tribulations before, what was a book of the restaurant's matches doing on your desk? Uh-oh. You've been snooping around in my stuff now too, wise guy. What are you, my ball and chain? Ain't no broad controlling me. Damn. Ba-da-ba-ba. Order, order. Well, witness? I think it's time you started telling us the truth, don't you? Oh god, never mind. Sorry, I'm terribly sorry, forgive me. I ain't no pussycat. I don't go back on what I said. But okay, I was at the joint that day. What? But listen good, alright? I might have been there, but I still never met that kid. Well, well. Glug glug. Looks like an order just came in for another testimony. I'm this close to proving it was him. He did meet Glen Elg that day. And he did put poison in his coffee. He must have. Très bien. I was supposed to meet with that kid at the restaurant that afternoon. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. The guy was laid out over the table, stiff as concrete. I figured if the place wasn't hot already, it was gonna be, so I split. I heard the cop sirens on my way out, and I went straight back to my office. Ah. I see, you didn't actually meet with the victim in the end, then. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Hold it. If I wait around here any longer, I ain't even gonna make the normal express. No more stupid questions. No problem. Penalty? Anytime Tripe presses you on something irrelevant, I'll see he pays a penalty. Mr. Gatto, that's my job. Your job is to slam that little hammer of yours and call a guilty verdict. So do it. Yes, sir. The special express isn't cheap, right? Just so yous know what since you's paying. Oh, man. Doesn't the rule of law mean anything around here? Not when you got somebody who's scary, I guess. Ah, très bien! Okay. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. The guy was laid out stiff as concrete. Hold up. I just want to look at the crime photo. Can you actually see the tables from the door? No, you can't. There's a wall behind him. Wait, no. God, I almost presented the crime photo. I'm an idiot. Oh, I could also do that. Yeah, you can see the door there. There's a bunch of walls. Well. Yeah, dude. You're wrong. You're something of a loan collecting pro, aren't you, Mr. Tigre? No one escapes a tiger's clutches. Well, I'm something of a lie detecting pro. And no one escapes the Phoenix's clutches. I think it's time we got something straight. What's this, Trite? A new line of irrelevant questioning? These are the floor plans of the crime scene. You say you were standing at the entrance, Mr. Tigre. From there, your field of vision would have covered an area something like this. Indeed, the witness would have had a clear view of the victim's seat. Isn't that what I just said? I saw the back of the kid's head. Unfortunately for you, that is not possible. If the court would think back, you'll remember that between each of the tables is a tall partition. Why, that's true! Now look at the plans again. The truth is painfully obvious. There you go. From the entrance, the field of vision of any customer walking in ends here. No! Oh, he's sweating! Ooh! So, from the entrance of Très bien, you couldn't have seen the victim's seat. But you did see the victim that day, because you met with him. Bum 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 ba bum. Wrong, have you forgotten the old man's testimony yesterday? The victim was alone at his table. Yeah, that was the reenactment, but the defense just proved that point to be moot. The victim witnessed by Mr. Kudo was not Glen Elg, but a fake. What? In order to have Mr. Kudo falsely testify, the real killer posed as the victim he had just killed and acted out a charade. Oh. That will do. This trial has gone on long enough without the obvious question being answered. Who exactly was this real killer who impersonated the victim? You say the killer murdered Glen Elg, and then impersonated his victim in a performance for Victor Kudo? In that case, Mr. Wright, reveal the identity of this criminal to the court. I mean, it's kind of obvious, he's in the witness stand. The killer was Furio Tigre. No one else could have done it. What? Well, witness. Okay. Now that's cute. You think you can pin this on the tiger? Maybe you just don't understand. The tiger is king of the jungle. So I dare you to say it again. Come on. You got the guts. You can't threaten me, Mr. Tigre. It's the defense. Go ahead and tell the witness, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright! Sounds to me like it must be you, old man. He's got guts, I'll give you that. Mr. Wright, do not leave me to handle this alone. Perhaps I can end this embarrassment. Mr. Gatto. Let's just go back over Mr. Kudo's testimony one more time. The old man didn't just see the victim. Oh, no, 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 no. The serving girl brought him a Javagino, but she put something in it. There's no question about it. She was very conspicuously put some white powder in there. I was reading it all wrong. Was the victim he saw the real victim or not? That doesn't matter. The fact remains, he saw the accused put the poison in the coffee. Yes, it was the waitress who poisoned the coffee. Very impressive, Mr. Gatto. Waiting for my absence to launch your attack. Huh. Found your pen at last, right? It was in my pocket. Anyway, Mr. Kudo witnessed two people that day. He saw the victim, the supposed Mr. Glenelg, and the waitress, from behind. Yes, your point, Mr. Wright? I think the conclusion is obvious. If this Glenelg was really the killer in disguise, then surely it's possible the waitress was also part of the show. What? You mean the waitress was an imposter as well? The defendant, Miss Bird, fell unconscious immediately after the incident. And someone used her fainting to hatch an elaborate plan to pin the murder on her. Who on earth was it? Who was this waitress that Mr. Kudo witnessed? The only person it could have been. Who is this woman? Her name is Viola Cadavarini. She's an employee at Tenderlenda. He's making a big mistake. Oh, do you know who Violetta's grandfather is? You better be going home in an armoured truck tonight, if you know what I mean. Stop shaking, Nick. Where was I? Yes, the defendant, Miss Bird, has stated the following. Well, when I took the coffee over to the victim's table, it's true there was another customer in the restaurant. She was sort of creepy. And she had a kind of cackling laugh. There we go. There are just too many contradictions in this case. The second man at the victim's table, who nobody but Miss Bird seems to have seen. The earpiece worn by the victim in his left ear when that eardrum was ruptured. And the radio show he was supposedly listening to half an hour after it was over. There's only one logical explanation that clears up all of these contradictions. The whole incident took place twice, once for real and once for show. And Mr. Furio Tigre, the only person who could have committed the crime, was you. Witness, what have you got to say? That's cute. Sorry? You's alright. I could do with a guy like you around. What do you mean? Okay, I'm in on this game. I'm gonna have to charter a jet to get me to my meeting now, but I'm gonna give you one more thing to think about before I go. Something to think about? You've got it all wrapped up nice, alright. But you've missed out one real important thing. But that can't be. I was in the joint that day, and I met that kid too. I couldn't have poisoned him, you's here? What? Do you really expect us to believe you now, Mr. Tigre? What a troublemaker. Troublemaker. Looks like we're gonna need another one for the road. Oi, oi, oi. One more steaming cup of hot testimony. Indeed, witness, you will explain yourself to the court. I'll give you one more chance to testify. What happened that day at Tribulations between yourself and the victim? Ugh, God. Pardon me. So ties to the victim. Yeah, I loaned El cash, about $100,000. That day we was due to have a little chat. The kid had hit his payback date, see? So anyway, he tells me he's got no way to pay up. I'm about to flatten the guy when he starts screaming. Yes, I won $500,000. He got lucky, you know. Real lucky. If that waitress hadn't done what she did, everything would have been over. Now, I see that the principal amount you loaned to Mr. Elg was $50,000. Yeah, well, you've got the... Wait, you've got the VIG to take it... Oh, the VIG? To take into account. Interest builds up fast, you know? That's faster than fast. $100,000 is twice his principal. The repayment deadline was December 3rd, the day of the incident in question. Yeah, he was one lucky kid. He got that $500,000 just in time. So I ain't have no reason to kill the kid. If I ain't got no motive, you ain't got no case. His motive? He has to have one, but what is it? Boom, 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 boom. Ties to the victim. Wait, is this another one where I'm gonna press one of these, and if it penalizes me, then that's fine. Did he have any way of paying the loan back? The fool was a gambler. He said he couldn't give it up until he landed a big win. So I agreed to help him. Help him? You? Kept hitting him with ideas for ways he could get a big win. But the guy kept losing. So you were helping him for his sake, or yours? Win through compromise. Yous help me, I help yous. What's the difference, huh? I don't believe this. Nick, would anyone really ever loan money to someone they thought was unreliable? Like, for example, if it were you, I'd only loan you $5, max. Thanks a lot, Maya. Oh, I don't get penalised. Hey! Okay. I'm gonna press everything. Sod it. So how much were you expecting him to pay you back on that day? What do you think? The whole package. $100,000 including interest. That's a real heavyweight punch. Once a client misses a repayment, you call the whole loan in. You make it... Oh, you want to make it in my world? That's all you's gotta know. How many times had Mr. Elg been late with his repayments? Once. And how much was he supposed to pay back? Every month? $50. Sound like Mr. Elg was in a really sticky spot. Yeah, at $50 a month, he'd never pay that huge loan off. $50, $500 in 10 months, 100 months would be 5,000. It would be 1,000 months, which would be probably like 90 or so years. Oh well, that's a lot. How much did he have left on his debt? You want it in round figures? About $100,000? That's the whole amount. We're talking about a guy who had 58 cents in his wallet. What? You're telling me he wasn't even going to pay for the coffee? He certainly seemed to have been a brave man, this Mr. Elg. That guy was smooth, I tell yous. Real smooth. You'll have your money in less than 5 minutes. That's what he says to me. And the guy calls me the Tender Tiger. He was skating on thin ice with me. I'm about to flatten the guy when he starts screaming. Was that because the guy won the lottery? Was his last chance at the big win? And you can confirm that this is his ticket in question. That's it. The Millionaire Radio Show starts at 1:30 PM and runs for 10 minutes. That fixes the time you two met with some accuracy, and the whole scene was acted out again 30 minutes later. All so that Mr. Koda would see it. I can still see the kid's face now. I ain't never gonna forget it. There we go. Was there anyone else in the restaurant at the time? I don't remember. If there was no one there, I'll wear that ridiculous tiger shirt for a month. Mr. Armstrong, Maggie, and if I'm right, Viola Cadaverini were all there at that time. So the victim had intended to repay you from his lottery winnings from the beginning? Seems that way to me. But you wouldn't normally expect to win the lottery, would you? The undying belief that your next roll will end the worst losing streak you ever had. That's what defines a true gambler. Makes it sound so cool. Don't be tempted, Nick. You haven't got the willpower for it. All I know is, the kid took a shot and he got lucky in the end. That waitress hadn't done what she did, everything would have been over. The waitress, you mean... The defendant. The girl with the glasses in the defendant's chair. Who else could I mean? If she hadn't got in the way, things would have been bada bing bada boom, over and done with. Maybe I should push a little on this. Ask about what Maggie did, how things would have been. What do you mean things would have been over and done with? Are yous all there or what? I'm talking about the cash. I was there to get my 100,000 bucks back. That's all. I'm a businessman. It was all coming together before that waitress got in the way. As far as I can tell from the witness's testimony, other than recouping his loan, Mr. Tigre had no motive for killing the victim. Witness, you will amend your testimony to reflect what you just said. The tiger's motive, huh? I was after the 100,000. I didn't have no other reason to kill the guy. The only other thing is the MC bomber, which we found in his office. I don't know where that is. Wait. Oh, it's there. God. Seems I was right. So you just intended to get back the $100,000 Mr. Elg owed you, correct? I loaned the guy the cash, so that's my right. Unfortunately for Mr. Elg, I don't believe the $100,000 is what you were after.
Objection.
What are you getting at, trite? Who else would a moneylender be— or what else would a moneylender be after other than money? Oh, the moneylender was after money, but money in a totally different league. The kind of money that a single disc like this could fetch, or would fetch. What is that? It's a virus. A computer virus, Your Honor. A virus called MC Bomber. A computer virus? What does one of those do? A computer virus is a program that wreaks havoc on the insides of a computer. A computer? What does one of those do? I guess the beard isn't the only part of his honor that is from the Stone Age. I'll explain it to you later, Your Honor. Right now, this is the important point. A virus like MC Bomber would be worth several $million on the black market. Several $1 million? Lending money with no hope of ever seeing repayment would normally be bad for business. But in this case, the very fact that Glenn Elg had no way to repay the money is crucial. What? Glenn Elg was a programmer, a highly skilled programmer. That skill was the collateral Mr. Elg put up in order to borrow the money.
Objection.
You're trying to suggest the witness's motive was to get hold of that program? Exactly. The witness may have poor fashion sense, but he is by no means an idiot, trite. A man like him could get his hands on $1 million without resorting to murder. Of course he could, provided that he had time. But what if he needed the money right then? When the pressure's on, the luxury of choice tends to disappear. It seems you have a logical conclusion for this theory, Mr. Wright. Would you care to share it with us? Why did Mr. Tigre need money to the tune of $1 million? Wait, we didn't say anything about 1 million, we said several million. It's all because of this. Viola's medical papers. Payment was due last year. There you go. In December of last year, you found yourself in need of a huge amount of money. About 6 months ago, you were involved in a traffic accident, weren't you? An accident involving a car and a scooter in which a young woman was injured. She was taken to the hospital where she underwent surgery. Where did you get all this info? These medical papers document the treatment of the young woman in question. According to these, her operation cost $1 million. Payment for these expenses was due in December of last year, and was paid in full. $1 million. A preposterous sum. Someone should sue these HMOs. No one would pay a bill like that. If the medical association got wind of it, the hospital would end up as dead as a morgue. But Mr. Tigre had no choice but to pay, because his very life depended on it. Oh! Nice. I want to see what his breakdown is. Like, his proper breakdown. Bum 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 ba da da da. So order. You say his life depended on it, Mr. Wright? Indeed it did, simply because the injured woman was none other than Viola Cadaverini. Did you say Cadaverini? I did indeed. Bruto Cadaverini, mob boss in charge of all underworld activities in the city, and doting grandfather to his precious Violetta, also known as Viola Cadaverini. Oh, bah. Your life was in danger unless you paid compensation to the boss, correct? It makes sense. You were desperate to acquire the $1 million Cadaverini demanded from you, or of you. So desperate, in fact, that you decided to sacrifice Glen Elg's life to pay your debt. On the day of the murder, Mr. Tigre's sole intention was to get his hands on this CD. Glen Elg had no way of paying back the $100,000, and Mr. Tigre knew it. But then a miracle happened. He won the lottery. The kind that Mr. Tigre would prefer to say never happened, but he can't, neither can I. The lottery win? Exactly. At the 11th hour, Mr. Elg won $500,000 on the lottery, which left Mr. Tigre with no way of getting his hands on the all-important CD. At least no legitimate way. And that's when the disembodied hand poured poison, or put poison into a cup. So he resorted to a legitimate means. What is it, potassium cyanide or something? That's crazy. He murdered Glen Elg, and then made his next move. To frame Maggie Bird for the crime. Mr. Tigre posed as Glen Elg, while Viola Cadaverini played the role of Miss Bird. And then they reenacted the whole thing, in order to establish a witness. The witness being the one we all heard testify yesterday, Mr. Victor Kudo. Like I said, Trite, that's crazy. No one could pull off a stunt like that. For starters, there's no way the chef could have been kept out of it. He wasn't kept out of it. But Mr. Armstrong knew all about it. Have you forgotten already, Mr. Goddo? Mr. Armstrong owed the witness money too. $500,000, in fact. He had no choice but to go along with Mr. Tigre's plan. Ooh, he was silent. Oh god. Okay. He's put on a good show, Spiky. If you just want to stay alive in the loan shark business, you gotta be careful. You saying I dressed up like that kid, created a witness, and framed someone? If I did something crazy like that, I'd leave a trail as bright as my shirt. I ain't dumb enough to do something sloppy like that. I agree. What? Despite your appearance, you are very careful. That's why you took one more precaution. One more trick to make sure Miss Bird had no way out. What? Another one, Mr. Wright? Interesting. Why don't you fill us all in, Trite? Oh god, that's a big penalty. What was this trick you say Mr. Tigre performed to frame the accused? Accused. The paper badge. What on earth is that? What an insult to think anyone could be fooled by such a childish imitation. Consider yourself insulted, Your Honor. Mr. Tigre, you didn't just pose as the victim on the day in question. A month ago, in this very court, you posed as me. What? That's the truth. But the witness looks nothing like you, Mr. Wright. Although, now that I think about it, it was you, wasn't it? No doubt it was you, standing in there this very court a mere month ago. The Phoenix Wright who put up the most disreputable, shabby defense I had ever seen. Ho-ho!
Objection!
Can you prove that, Gramps? Prove the attorney who represented the accused here a month ago was this man. Are you prepared to take the stand and testify that it was him? What? Hey. Forget about it, yeah? Oh, okay. I wouldn't do something like that, not me. You made a mistake, right? It was something else, someone else, right? Uh-huh. He's changed. Have you no pride, sir? This isn't a matter of pride. In case you didn't know, Trite, here in court we deal with people's lives. Mr. Goddo is right, Your Honor. Speaking for myself, I am absolutely convinced. The attorney in question was the witness standing before me now. However, I preside over this court as a judge, with the vested power to hand down a verdict. Someone in my position cannot be swayed by a memory without evidence to support it. What? You shitting me? If the defense has no further evidence, the court will now excuse the witness. The circumstances surrounding Mr. Tigray are dubious for sure, but not conclusive. But we've come so far. You say he impersonated Glen Elg, you say he impersonated you. But none of that adds up to a murder charge. You don't have a shred of evidence that the witness poisoned the victim's coffee. Shit. I mean, he's right. No! Ah, no. Oh my voice. Well, sucks to be you, Wright. Don't mess with the tiger, or you're gonna get mauled. You've got that? All we managed to do here was chase him around a bit. But I was so close to getting him to admit his own guilt. Ay, oi, oi. Looks like I won't be needing a refill. If I had just one more piece of evidence. One more piece of evidence and maybe I could get Maggie off the hook. The witness's cross-examination is over. You are free to go, Mr. Tigray. Hold it! I was not expecting that. Your Honor, sir. Gumshoe! Nice. Wait! Detective? Detective Gumshoe. Sorry it took so long, pal. I staked everything on this. My badge, the works. So here it is. My heart's counting on this too. What is it, Detective? Isn't it obvious, pal? It is the final, decisive piece of evidence. What? Where'd Tigray go? Oh wait, what? We gone to retest or something? Okay. Sorry it took so long, pal, but I finally got the results from the lab. The results? About the prints, pal. From this medicine bottle. Oh, so? Do you know who the prints belong to now? Do you think I'm some kind of hack detective? Of course I know. So, tell us. They're the tigers, right? I knew it. You bet. Clear as crystal, all over the bottle. They're Furio Tigray's paw prints, alright? That's great. We've got him now, Nick. What's wrong with you? You've hardly said a word since Detective Gumshoe got here. He's laid everything on the line for this, Nick. I know. Look, I'm sorry. This is kinda hard to say, but it really doesn't make any difference whose prints are on the bottle now. Huh? What? Why not? All we need to produce at this stage in the trial is irrefutable evidence that the tiger put poison in Glen Elg's coffee. He's already admitted that he met the victim. The fact that his prints are on this bottle, that really doesn't make any difference now. I knew it. Great, no matter how hard I try, I'm never of any use. Hey, don't be so hard on yourself. This was our last chance to help Maggie. I've been working on some useless piece of evidence the whole time. It's alright. I'm a real loser. It's not breaking news to me, pal. Detective? Gumshoe? Maggie? You've been working on something for me? Sorry I let you down, Maggie. I know you didn't do it. And I'm a detective. We're supposed to be able to prove stuff like that. I'm really sorry. I'll get out of your hair now. Oh god. Detective Gumshoe, wait! He's gone. Isn't there anything we can do now, Nick? I wish there was. Gumshoe worked so hard to get that evidence. If only there was some way I could use it. Small bottle! Okay. So I got it added to the court record. Doodle-doo. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? I granted you a recess so you could prepare this decisive evidence you've discovered. Yes. Don't keep us all in suspense, Trite. Show us. Naturally. We can assume it's evidence that will actually stand up in court, can't we? Think, Phoenix. Don't let Gumshoe's hard work go to waste. How much more of my time are you gonna waste? I ain't been to no court before. But you's lawyers sure know how to blow things out of proportion. No doubt. Given the nature of the evidence, it will speak for itself. Nevertheless, you will talk us through it, Mr. Wright. Well, I know I can't prove anything new with this evidence. I'm really backed into a corner here. But maybe if he thinks he's got me beat, he'll let his guard down a bit. Don't keep us waiting any longer, Mr. Wright. Present this final decisive piece of evidence to the court. I mean, it's obviously the bottle. Yeah, Fury Tigres, but we know all we know is it's the evidence. We know it's medicine. Does Tigre? I'm wondering if he knows it's medicine. This is the defense's final piece of evidence. Isn't that the victim's... Your Honor. Naturally, the court is already aware of the contents of this bottle. However, interesting new information has come to light. We have clearly identified some fingerprints on it. Fingerprints belonging to you, Mr. Tigre. What? But, Mr. Wright, what conclusion are you hoping to draw from this new information? Everyone in here knows what this bottle contains. Except one man, one person in this courtroom should theoretically be in the dark. Tigre. My prints are on that pansy-looking bottle, is that what you're saying? Well, what the hell's in it anyway? Here we go. A phony trial, a phony lawyer, and phony clues. Everything about this case has been phony. Seems like the perfect excuse for some phony evidence. Mr. Tigre, this is the decisive piece of evidence that will prove your guilt. Why? Because it contains his oils. Okay, if we say it's potassium cyanide, he'll probably like, no it didn't. That was in something else. This is the bottle containing the potassium cyanide. Potassium cyanide? The poison used to murder Mr. Elg, Your Honor. The victim's killer used this very bottle. And on this bottle, Mr. Tigre, we found your fingerprints. Well, how do you explain that? You'd make a good clown, you know that? What? You ain't never gonna get this to stick. You're just making me laugh now. You think a cheap bluff like that's gonna fool the tiger? A bluff? I can see straight through you, Phoenix Wright. Oh, there we go. That ain't the bottle with the cyanide in it. No, this is the bottle we found traces of the poison in. Don't mess with the tiger, or you're gonna get ripped to shreds. The cyanide bottle was brown, and it was made of glass. That cheap piece of trash don't look nothing like it. And now everybody has just heard him confess that he knew what the potassium cyanide looked like. Oh, he just admitted his own guilt, essentially. What an idiot. He'll be like, why is everybody silent? What'd I say? Got him. At last. What? Why's everyone gone quiet? I said that bottle... Is this the bottle you're referring to? Yeah, that's it. That's the bottle the cyanide was in. But you ain't gonna find my prints on that bottle. Don't let that cozy looking suit fool you people. That lawyer's just playing games. Tell him, Goddo. Tell that guy where to go. You still haven't figured it out? Don't you realize what you just said? What I said? What did I just say? You were summoned to this court for the first time earlier today. If you really had nothing to do with the murder, you shouldn't have known about the little details. Or all the little details. For instance, you shouldn't have known what kind of bottle the potassium cyanide was in. But just now, you slipped up in front of every single person in this courtroom. You described the exact bottle used by the killer to hold the poison. You just don't know who you're messing with. I'm the Tiger. I control millions of dollars on the black market. You think I'm gonna let some jumped up suit get the better of me? Sure, the last piece of evidence was phony. But that's just what you deserve. The phony trial with a phony lawyer. It was all played out by you. The biggest phony of all. What's his breakdown gonna be? Oh, here it is. Oh, damn. Oh, Jesus. Whoa. Oh, just wait, collapse. Wait. Did the lights go out? What happened? I can see Phoenix. But what's going on? It looks like a blackout. What? No! This is weird. Well done. Trite. I saved my 17th cup of coffee just for you. That explains why I could see his eyes. Savor it. While you watch your caged prey. Whew. Oh my god. I love that. Just constantly getting slapped with coffee. Right, you caught a tiger by his toe. But if this one hollers, he won't be let go. The prosecution will be sure to take care of Mr. Tigre. Won't you, Mr. Gatto? He's being arrested on suspicion of the murder of Glen Elg, Your Honor. Fortunately for us, we managed to rectify a very grave error. Miss Bird was found guilty in the absence of a genuine defense attorney. Yes, she was. And in the absence of a in the absence of genuine evidence. But the tiger made one mistake. Indeed. He very nearly got away with everything if it wasn't for that one slip of the tongue. Furio Tigre is a truly frightening criminal. Huh. The truly frightening one is that defense attorney over there. Gatto. It's probably because he's managed to, you know, find him guilty. Well, I am now in a position to deliver my verdict. The court finds the defendant, Maggie Bird, not guilty! Woo! Oh, she's saluting. That is all. This court is adjourned. It's going to be playing the really nice music. There we go. We did it. Yeah, it is the kind of happy music. Mr. Wright, I'm at a loss for words. Thank you, sir. Congratulations, Maggie. I was so mad at when Mr. Wright landed me in all that trouble a month ago. But now I feel like I can forgive him. Hey, that wasn't me, Maggie. That was the tiger. Look, Nick. In the doorway. Detective Gumshoe. Oh, guess I'll be heading off then. See you around, pal. He disappeared quick. Wait. Detective Gumshoe. Oh, yeah. Congratulations, Maggie. Thanks. I knew you were innocent all along. Why didn't you say that in your testimony then? Huh? Oh. Well, I was... Well, I guess I'll be heading off then. See you around. Wait up, detective. He just ran off. Maggie, why are you being so hard on him? He busted his butt for you. It's thanks to him that we got the medication bottle. That wasn't even any use. But it's only because Mr. Wright used it so cleverly. Detective Gumshoe was just running around in circles. Poor guy. Looks like she still isn't ready to forgive him. Can you put in a good word for him, Nick? Yeah, Maya's right. I should help Gumshoe out. It's clear he needs it. Maggie. You know, Detective Gumshoe's been really worried about you through all of this. I wanted to believe that, sir. But on that first day of the trial, he practically gave the judge a free pass to lock me up. He didn't have any choice, Maggie. He's a detective. He has to report the facts. He doubted me, that's why. He thought I might have done it. I've got to prove to her that Gumshoe really cares about her. I know. I'll give her a little present to celebrate her freedom. Yeah, my attorney badge. No, it's the dinner, innit? Yeah, there we go. Gumshoe's lunchbox. It's a jumbo. Yeah, tenderly handmade lunchbox. Fills the stomach with love and plenty of weenies. There you go. Here you are. A present to celebrate your freedom. That's a present from Detective Gumshoe, made with a ton of love. He said you lost weight and he was worried about you. Detective Gumshoe? I actually really like weenies, you know? What was that noise? That was the weirdest noise ever. Did you guys hear that? I'm pretty hungry myself, you know. Yeah, the trial dragged on a bit today, didn't it? Is it okay if I eat this now? Yeah, sure. Go for it. Hey! It looks like Maya's cheering her on. Is she crying? So, how is it, Maggie? It's really good. Well, there you have it. Yeah! Woohoo! So, the case of phony versus genuine comes to an end. The false allegations surrounding Maggie have all been cleared up. my god. That was quick. And who knows, maybe a whole new chapter of her life is about to start. There we go. That was cool. I like that case. Every case in the Ace Attorney games is incredible. I've really liked all of them. A brand new episode has been added! Yes! Turnabout Beginnings. An incredible trial too. They're all really good, but this, I don't know, the starting case for this game was really good. Turnabout Beginnings is really good. Not entirely sure how long it is. It might be one that I try and blast out in a single session, but we'll see. Oh yeah! Do I want to save? Of course I do. Either way, that is going to be the end of this session. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. And until next time, take care.